All right, take two. Ted, you have to put your headphones on because then we can hear ourselves.
Well, why don't you? How does that sound right now?
I can hear like gibberish in the background. Only because of the volume. But anyway, this is part 2. We're trying again. Please let us know in the Rumble room. Can you guys see us? I can see us. I don't know if everybody else can see us and hear us. But I think so. I think I'm going to wait for reaction. Can everybody see and hear us? Yep. We're going back to the old way.
Yeah, we're live.
Adrian says we're on in Spanish though.
No, stop. Is that true?
That's funny, but that's funny. That's all we need. Is like
I am emailing Rumble right now.
We currently have 3 feeds on YouTube right now. I'm going to go through and erase the first 2 right now.
And maybe now kill all of them.
No, the last one is the good one. The last one is the one that we're supposed to have.
Yeah, that was my fault. I did not realize you're setting up a new one, so I just did it through the old legacy Rumble Studio.
Rumble Studio is not. I swear it is not ready for prime time, and I don't know why they insist.
It really isn't. I mean, the stupidest thing. I mean, there's so many stupid things about it, but it's not programmed right. Yeah.
No, and the makers, the Rumble folks, like insist, like you have to use our studio. Your studio is shit. Your software is shit.
It does blow. Yeah.
It blows hard. Like the crisp clarity of the 4K imagery when it works is great. But if we can't reliably get on air, then we're not going to use your Rumble Studio. It sucks. And it's not user friendly. Like we can't. This was terrible. We lost viewers because obviously not everyone got the message. But anyway, we appreciate all of our regulars back in the new Rumble room. So yeah, this is Thursday, June 4th, 2026. Rumble Studio beta testing on
YouTube,
us.
I believe YouTube is up and running now.
All right. So I'm Manila Chan. That's Ted Rall. Robbie is in there too. This is the Ted Manila Information Show, live supposedly at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday when the software works. Otherwise, we just try to get it in there. Anyway, so Robbie is sending a nastygram to the Rumble Studio people. So there's that. Okay, I'm going to send you to the background, Robbie.
Take out the frame. Take out the, we don't need that.
You don't like this?
Nah, nah.
You're over the frame that you made?
I'm over the frame that I made. Just take it out.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I need to find it. And StreamYard also changed their whole layout for everything. So, while I was on maternity leave, theme, I believe is not theme. Presets? No. Where do they move it to?
No, it's in the same place. It's in the same place. It's in the same place.
No, even the buttons look different in the last 6 weeks.
Let me see. Media assets.
I'm in media assets.
Scroll down. You'll see it.
I have scrolled down. Yeah. I don't see it.
Under overlay.
Oh, on the overlay drop. Ted wants me to get rid of. Why?
Because it's cleaner. It's easier. It's easier to look at. Yeah, it's better.
Like this? Do you guys think what do you guys think? Does this look? I feel so naked.
Now everyone can see your Misfits shirt. All right. Listen, guys. We have 26 minutes left. I have a hard out at 11 because of DMZ today. So
Thursday.
We have 4 stories to do in 26 minutes, which means we have 6 minutes each. So
let's roll.
All
right.
Okay, go.
All right. So this one. So for decades, millions of people have taken antidepressants knowing there might be side effects, weight gain, nausea, headaches, insomnia. The side effects list is like they come in a booklet. sure those people know that, right? So what many people didn't hear about was the possibility that some sexual side effects might not go away after you stop the medication. The condition is called post-SSRI sexual dysfunction, or PSSD, and it's drawing new attention as more patients are coming forward describing persistent symptoms months or even years after stopping the antidepressants. The symptoms can include loss of libido, genital numbness, erectile dysfunction, reduced sexual sensation, and difficulty achieving orgasm. Some patients also report emotional blunting and a diminished ability to experience pleasure overall. Like,
Well, emotional blunting sounds good to me, but not the other stuff.
just comfortably numb, as it were, Ted.
Yeah, I'm not. Emotions suck. I'm like, no emotions would be better. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Spock. The controversy isn't whether sexual side effects occur during treatment. That's well established. The debate centers on what happens afterward. Researchers increasingly recognize that a small number of patients appear to experience symptoms that persist long after discontinuing SSRIs, such as Prozac, Zoloft, Paxil, Lexapro, and similar medications. However, scientists still don't fully understand how common the condition is, why it happens, or how to treat it.
Yeah, because they never follow up with their patients, right? I mean, just think about it.
No.
Every time you get an operation or any kind of procedure or
Yeah.
medication, they give it to you, and there's never
Not
anyone
long
that says,
term. Well,
"Hey,
I have
30
a
days
follow-up
later,
appointment.
how you doing? How you doing a year later?
Tomorrow
How
is
you
my
doing?"
tomorrow's my 6-week post-op, C-section post-op follow-up. So I guess they do follow up on some things, but 6 weeks, I don't know
Yeah,
after
but
that.
you're not
couple
going to hear
months.
from them in a year or 2 or 3.
Right. So it's not a long-term thing, but 6 weeks, that's a follow-up. So that uncertainty has left many patients feeling caught between two worlds, a growing body of research suggesting the condition is real and a medical system still struggling to quantify and explain it. Now, to be clear, antidepressants have helped millions of people and remain life-changing and sometimes life-saving medications. The best evidence suggests so far fewer than 1% of SSRI users develop PSSD, but researchers openly admit they don't know the true number. The condition appears uncommon, but it's serious enough that many experts now believe patients should be warned before starting treatment. So I looked up, as much as I could find out about this stuff. So PSSD occurred in about 0.46% of treated patients, but a lot of people don't report. It's like miscarriage, right? Like people don't report these things. So it's impossible to know the true number. But what we do know is roughly 1 in 216 SSRI users develop persistent sexual dysfunction consistent that they would call consistent with PSSD after treatment. However, many researchers caution that this may be an underestimate because one, many patients when they are follow up, Ted, many patients are never asked about sexual side
Yeah, let
effects.
me just say, I know many people who have or are on SSRIs, and I would venture to say probably roughly half of my friends who are done it report to me personally as Dr. Rall. They report to me sexual side effects.
Oof.
So
Wow.
basically,
Half the people that you know that are on them.
they lose their sex drive.
Wow. Then patients may not connect symptoms to their medication that they had stopped months earlier. That's another problem. Doctors may attribute symptoms to depression itself, to anxiety, to aging,
Yeah, of
or
course you're
relationship
depressed and you
issues.
have anxiety because you're not horny anymore. And
And it's also important, Ted, to separate sexual side effects while taking SSRIs from PSSD because those are like the active form of the side effects, right? Like that you have low libido or whatever. This is talking about people that have left behind the SSRIs for months, if not years. Um, but so sexual side effects during SSRI treatment are common. They say it's
yeah,
between 30 and 60% or greater
yeah.
depending on the drug and depending on the study. Persistent symptoms after stopping the drug, that's the PSSD, appear to be much rarer. Their best guess is it's like 0.5%. But here's what's even scarier, Ted. About 1 in 6 Gen Zers, the young adults, are currently taking
Ridiculous.
SSRIs. 1 in 6.
Currently. I mean, it's probably half who have. And of course, this would go a long way towards explaining why they don't have sex anymore.
They don't bang.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah. And what's funny is, I mean, it's not funny, but also worth noting is, okay, so if, let's say, half of Gen Zers don't have a libido anymore, well, that means it's for the half who do have a libido, they can't find anyone to do. Right?
This is a crazy, weird story. Like, so let's assume 1% of the people that use, I don't know, whatever SSRI, I don't know the different brands. That's a lot of people if you're talking about 1 in 6 people of a generation. Let's say 1 in 5, because
remember, if they're currently on it, then the odds are about half, roughly half.
Yeah.
That they
really?
Well, that's what it says. If you're on it currently, 30 to 60% have sexual dysfunction as a result. So 1 out of 6 Gen Zers are currently on them, which means 1 out of 12, roughly, are suffering from this libido loss. And then plus the ones who are no longer on them, but have been on them and have the residual effect. That's what our story is about today. So, the point is, we do know that, like, young people don't bone anymore.
Yes, we talked about how they don't party either. You, me, and Scott.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They do not party like it's 1999.
They do not party like it's anything. Yeah. And talk about fertility crisis, talk about connectivity crisis.
It's got to be a lot to do with this, Ted, with the SSRIs and people like being comfortably numb.
Yeah, look, I don't know about you, Manila, but I think most people remember being, let's say, 18 and climbing the walls with hornitude, right? Whether they acted upon it or not, to the point of it being insane, and like where you're like, where your judgment was, compromised. That's like, okay, that was fucked up, but this is more fucked up because that's normal. This is not
being
normal.
A horny teenager is normal. If 1 in 6 Gen Zers are currently, at any given time, taking an SSRI, and if we find out more about PSSD, then
look,
talk about
we have to move on
collapse,
because we only had a minute or two on this. But let me just say,
geez.
Here's the thing: if 1 out of 6, one of two things is true, maybe both. If 1 out of 6 Americans, Gen Zers, is on SSRIs, we are radically overprescribing them, or we have a major depression problem in this country that is a national emergency and should be something that the political class and the cultural class drops everything in order to address, because that many of our young people are fucked up, or both. But that's,
both. They're not mutually exclusive. Both can be true.
Yeah,
both can be true.
But the point is that, like, if that many people are depressed or that many people are overprescribed, not to mention, SSRIs cause suicidal ideation for people. So, it's like, this is a major problem. My problem here with this problem is that we don't talk about it as a problem. It's like not discussed, except for shows like this. You're not going to see this on 60 Minutes, or which we're going to talk about later. You're not going to see this. You're not going to see this anywhere else. The New York Times isn't going to talk about it. It's just not considered. It's sort of like an and by the way every now and then, but it's not an and by the way problem. It's a 24/7 everyday problem, and that is crazy. We should move on.
Yeah, I'm gonna jaws it.
The meltdown at 60 Minutes has officially moved from newsroom gossip to open warfare. Veteran correspondent Scott Pelley, one of the most respected journalists on TV, got fired this week after he publicly accused CBS News chief Barry Weiss of murdering the legendary news program. The fight exploded during a staff meeting after CBS installed former New York Times columnist Nick Bilton as the show's new executive producer, and then continued a sweeping overhaul that's already seen top producers and correspondents fired. Pelley blasted Bilton's qualifications or lack thereof and accused Weiss of being brought in to dismantle the institution. Staff members gave him a standing ovation. After his firing, Pelley claimed CBS execs pressured him to inject falsehoods into politically sensitive reporting and accused management of misleading staff about efforts to reconcile with him. Weiss denied those characterizations, saying trust had broken down and that attempts were made to find a path forward. What's remarkable is it's, of course, happening at 60 Minutes, one of the most important and platinum standards of television journalism. Like it's the dream to be the subject of a 60 Minutes segment, of course. Manila, are you still there? Oh my God. What is going on with today's show? I don't
I said BRB.
understand.
Baby was crying.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you.
No,
Anyway.
I chatted it.
All right. So the point is, look, first of all, the idea that like a hack like Barry Weiss could fire someone like Scott Pelley is a fucking cosmic joke.
He's been on the show longer than she's been alive, or just about.
Scott Pelley is a colossus. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a legend. He's the GOAT, right? And then who the fuck is she? She's a miserable Zionist ideologue, like worthless hack with a Substack page who they brought in to do. I mean, I believe every single word Scott Pelley said and not a word that she said. Basically, it's totally true that they brought her in to gut the 60 Minutes like a fish. And, I mean, look.
But why? It's the only show on CBS.
I don't feel sorry for Scott Pelley because, like, look, he's old and rich and he'll be fine.
I know.
But
look, why would you gut the one thing that is working at your network? They went up 9% or 9 points rather in the Nielsen ratings year over year. They're the only product on CBS that was working.
Well,
so,
it has a bad case. Look, 60 Minutes has long had a bad case of the olds. Okay, I mean,
I know.
Culturally, I mean, think about the kind of musicians that they showcase and stuff. I mean, to them, someone like Sting would be like breaking news. There's this guy. So I I think it's like, and the hosts are really old.
Yeah, but you can't. You have to have some sort of programming that does cater to those, let's say 70 and over, because like young people aren't going to watch long form.
Yeah, they're not going to watch it. No, what they should look. There's obviously reforms that needed to be done, but you just don't. When you go, this is one of those things where it's like 60 Minutes needed a nip and a tuck. They went in there with an axe. They doged it basically.
Yeah.
And like, it's like sort of like, oh, it's fucked. It needs fixing. So let's really fuck it up.
60 Minutes needed a mommy makeover, like a little.
All right. So to answer your question, they didn't view 60 Minutes as its special little thing. They viewed it as just part of CBS News. And they were like, this is about her takeover of CBS News and her trying to express dominance here. I got to say, I do have some sympathy for Little Nicky, because Little Nicky, the producer, Bilton, he comes in, he's wet behind the ears, doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and then you've got fucking Scott Pelley like reaming him like in front of the staff. Now, it's true that if you're management, you can't have that. You can't have.
You probably shouldn't do that, though. Even if you're Scott Pelley. You can't have that
level of insubordination, right?
I know.
Scott Pelley had to know that, like, there were going to be consequences for this.
Yeah, that's not cool to do that either, though, Ted. Like, in defense, whatever weak defense I can offer for Nick Bilton, like, you shouldn't do that in front of a whole newsroom meeting. Like when they're introducing, talk shit on the new boss, like right to his face in front of a whole newsroom full of people.
But let's not forget the context here, Manila. I mean, the context is that already some key producers and staff had already been fired. So internally they were pissed off about that. And that's what they're talking about. It's like about the way
Yeah.
that you guys did it. We don't like the way you did it. That's what this is about. They're pissed off. And so they were already enraged. I don't think there was anything that little Nikki could have done to make the staff happy. This thing is going to continue to melt down. I think you're going to see more people leaving. All eyes are on Leslie Stahl now.
She's like 104.
She's 84 years old. And
Robbie says, okay, Robbie, I'll give you the final thought on that.
Yeah, then we got to move on.
Sometimes you got to tell your boss to their face they're an idiot, and that's someone that's
Robbie
done that more than once. So I say
Ted
kudos.
and I have watched this. I know.
And I'll go away now because
I think he probably felt. I mean, I think Pelley probably was like, I'm rich and old, and I've had a big career, and I'll be fine. And so I have the freedom to fucking say whatever the fuck I want. And,
well, even if you're not.
And Barry Weiss couldn't possibly be in more over her head. I mean, this is a radical case of, being promoted way beyond her abilities.
The biggest problem with American corporate culture is that people are afraid to tell management the truth. And
True.
You can't fix a problem if you can't identify it. So if you have someone that's willing to come up and say, hey, you're an idiot, let me help you, more power to you.
True.
That's fair. All right, Jaws it. We're rushing through. So how about this? June is Pride Month, Ted. I don't see your rainbow flag.
I have my rainbow tattoo on my penis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It hurts a little.
So America's gay marriage consensus may be not a consensus anymore. For nearly 3 decades, support for same-sex marriage seemed to move in only one direction, up, Ted. Now, for the first time in years, the trend appears to be reversing. A new Gallup poll finds that support for same-sex marriage has slipped down to 65% from a peak that was at 71% just a couple of years ago. The percentage of Americans who say same-sex relationships are, quote, morally acceptable has also fallen. It used to also be at 71% just in 2022. That now is 62%. So more or less a 10% drop in how Americans view the rainbow flag and trans and all that stuff. It's a roughly 10% drop. But before anyone declares a cultural revolution, it's worth noting that a solid majority of Americans still support same-sex marriage. The bigger story is who is changing. Democrats and independents have remained largely steady. Republicans, however, have moved sharply in the opposite direction. Republican support for same-sex marriage has fallen from a majority just a few years ago to only 37% today. In other words, America isn't necessarily becoming less accepting overall. It's becoming more polarized. The poll also found declining acceptance of transgender issues, suggesting that the broader cultural battles over gender and sexuality may be influencing public opinion on rainbow flag issues more generally. What's remarkable is how quickly the landscape changed. In 1996, only 27% of Americans supported gay marriage. By 2022, we got to 70%. Now, after a decade of steady gains, that trend appears to have plateaued and slipping the other way. So, Ted, I've got some thoughts on this real quick, is that I think we did hit that plateau of like leave good enough alone. And when you start doing the drag queen story hour, you start ramming all of your sexual identity and your pronouns and all this shit, you cram it down everyone's throat, you are going to have a volatile reaction. I have plenty of old school gay friends, gay and lesbian, the old school kind, who still understand that they have a penis or they have a vagina and that's what makes them a man or a woman, but they're gay or lesbian, who really hate what was happening in the Biden era, let's say, right? Where like the trans conversation and the gender identity conversation just ran away with public discourse. All my normie gays hated that. Hated. And of course, yeah, they're old school gay because they're all 40 and above, right? So they're old school gay. And and they have complaints about the younger generation, and the younger generation of the trans or whatever have complaints about them, and on and on and on. But I would say a lot of this revolt is coming from cramming the culture down the straight normies' throats like us. And I know Robbie has thoughts.
Yeah, I think just as more people become religious and they realize our society is sick and we can't even agree on anything anymore, people want stability. And then you have these trannies and their death cult trying to cram all this crap down the people's throats, especially kids. It's a backlash. It's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's why.
I think I'm going to differ. Look, first of all, I think you can't possibly ignore the effect of right-wing media in all this. I mean, there's been the right wing has been verbally very, very anti-trans in particular. They've made that a huge talking point. This is remarkable, right? And I think basically I've talked about in the past about how the trans movement gained their rights much more quickly and without more buy-in than other groups, right? Like women struggled for equality for centuries, blacks since they got here as enslaved people, gays for the better part of 100 years. But then trans people, basically within 20 years, things moved very, very quickly. And I think it just didn't it didn't take. So that's really remarkable, right? Like, you normally never see like a backslide like this. Like these kind of rights generally sort of move forward and then taper into a plateau. This is a failure on the part of the left in communications. Like, for example, hey, you guys are all cis. What's a cis? Shut up, you're a cis. There hasn't been the cram down your throat thing. I hate to hear it. It makes me uncomfortable, but it's not really wrong. It's kind of been true, the messaging. I mean, compared to the gay rights movement, which was like, hey, listen, we just want to love who we want to love.
Right.
That's a hard message to say no to. So, yeah.
Like, I'm still pro gay marriage. I think I wouldn't disapprove of gay marriage. I still don't. But
it doesn't hurt anything.
Yeah, I could see why.
Unless you're a Christian, you believe God's going to judge your country for embracing sodomy. So there's that.
I understand why I think the polls are going in this direction because everyone's sick of that story. That's all. I think everyone's just sick of that subject. All right, we got one last topic real quick.
Can we do it? I think we should probably kick it to tomorrow, but whatever.
I know it's a fast way. It's on the thumbnail. You got to read it.
All right, do it quick. All right. Okay, here we go. When 48-year-old Eric Pierswa's wife told him that their marriage was over, she didn't expect a positive reaction, but he literally brought down the house. The marital dispute in Butler County, Pennsylvania got so out of hand that hubby used his excavator to partly demolish his own house after getting news about the divorce. According to CBS News, a lot of drinking was involved. He told his wife, if it's over, I'll tear the house down, said the big bad wolf. And the 48-year-old man climbed into an excavator and started tearing down chunks of his own property.
Where did he get it?
Shockingly, who doesn't have their own excavator? Shockingly, the man's wife and 2 daughters were still inside while he was tearing into it.
That's an asshole move.
And well, yeah, they could have died. The sounds of the demolition could be heard while she called 911. Fortunately, there were no injuries. Pierswa destroyed the back of the house, went inside, took his gym bag, and went into town, where he was then arrested by the local constables and taken into custody. He now faces a number of charges, as you can imagine. The damage doesn't look irreparable, but investigators said that structural damage was so severe that the whole place will probably have to be demolished. What a fucking nut. What a maniac.
So this is in Butler, PA, the same place where Trump was shot in the ear.
Right.
I guess some weird shit happens in that town, Ted.
Yeah, there's some
weird
crazy
shit.
There's some crazy shit there for sure.
I don't know what is wrong with the people in Butler, PA, but there you are. Don't go to Butler, PA.
No, never go there. I have been there.
I've never been. I'd never heard of it until Trump was shot 2 years ago.
That's its claim to fame.
So, all right, we got to leave that there. Let's do this again on our old StreamYard old reliable because I don't.
Yeah, from now on.
It's, yeah, it's a little sketchy. So, but thank you guys for
So,
sticking with us.
all right.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll see you. Stay tuned for DMZ. Ted and Scott, who do you got?
We're going to be talking about the death of Persepolis cartoonist Marjane Satrapi at the age of 56.
Oh my gosh. Oh, terrible. Okay. Well, so a sad DMZ America.
Yes.
But stay tuned for Ted and Scott. Thank you guys for staying with us. We'll be back tomorrow in our old trusty way. The video may not be as clear, but it works. Thank you guys.
And it's not really what matters.
Adios, amigos. Thank you. Bye.